is your average ideal suburban town area. Usually put like this be walled off around here. Here's the other side of San Bernardino. Here crime rates in most places around, highest murder per capita in the county. Just how San Bernardino County is. It's a poor area. It's pretty cheap to live in if you get the right place. Even then, prices remain insane. Our fast food establishments are usually more well maintained than city roads. And we can see this, visualized. Mass incarceration in the United States isn't just a couple people who do bad things, but it's more realistic. In areas like San Bernardino County, where you have the highest murder per capita in California, and if I can't remember off the top of my head, likely just the entire area around here. You have many people who do things to survive that are, by the court of law, deemed criminal activities. And yet, many of us call it home, whether it be cheap prices or just not having anywhere else better to live. The stark contrasting of in houses by for some miracle or another, whether it be timing or just inheritance, we own them. If not, we rent them for thousands upon thousands a month. And having such a stark divide between what we call the nice parts of town and the not so nice parts of town, despite specifically in San Bernardino County, where most of the poor areas are higher densely populated by minorities, mostly Latinos and African Americans. We see that these communities often don't receive much attention from our city government, like having potholes on roads, or honestly not as much needed policing. Economic inequality and racial biases are so deeply embedded into our prison system, our society, and our American culture that when we talk about our society as a whole, honestly, we seem to find that we blame the individuals that end up in these systems, or those that do what they deem necessary to survive in the moment, or make dumb mistakes as a result of either being desperate for money, or just, and thus introducing them to the prison system, whether it be at the very beginning by the juvenile justice system, whether it be through the juvenile justice system or the actual carceral system as a whole, we see how bleak and horrible these environments are. But, to make things more fitting, might as well do this. I should play the part and indulge myself wholly into the system and what life would look like inside your average carceral system, and not just one you see on TV. So let's go. So now I look the part, let's get into it. This is a generous, depiction of prison, because in reality it'd kind of look more like hold on. In reality it'd look more like this. Maybe minus the children. Do we have work buttons? We'll find out soon enough. Do a flip. We probably shouldn't have recorded that. Oh my god, there's so many children here. Can I move them? I have an idea. No, I didn't want to spawn more of you guys. Go away. Oh, this is not working out. Okay. Minor offenses like loitering, shoplifting, unpaid fines, or simply just having offenses that you could easily bail out of lead to this environment. Prison. Many of these people once had lives or maybe have suffered from untreated mental illnesses, likely leave prison. From untreated mental illnesses, likely leave prison. Like, oh my god, they're jumping. Poetic cinema. I did not intend to spawn this many children, but let's ignore that. So, Systemic neglect leads us to a point where many individuals who face mental health issues end up incarcerated, specifically women. Women dealing with depression, schizophrenia, and BPD often result in these manic episodes that can lead them to lashing out suddenly and maybe doing things that are not for their best sake due to their untreated health issues and just generally getting harsher consequences dealt to them if they happen to be fortunate minority, which is women of color, harsher sentencing as white women or honestly, white men. Is this guy jumping off the railing again? Speaking of jumping, a lot of suicide attempts are a lot higher in jails than prisons, because often most people think that their outcomes are so bleak and they'd rather not go to prison. You lock up people, regardless of their crime, all in the same area, think that their outcomes are so bleak and they'd rather not go to prison due to just the general things that happen. You lock up people, regardless of their crime, all in the same area, there tends to be groupings like gangs and affiliations like supremacist organizations. Oh, they're escaping. Okay, that's fine. You know how we deal with escaping prisoners? Can you stand still? You too, kiddo. Don't look at me like that. Excessive force does not discriminate any from children. Had to be done. If you ever noticed how prisons tend to be concentrated in typically poor areas, that too is not just a coincidence. Prisons are often sold and marketed to our policymakers as something that can help uplift these communities, to make stuff better for the people around and create jobs, you know? In reality, that's not what happens. Corporations give the money to unpaid prison laborers. McDonald's, for example, is trying to get out of paying the new wages for their fast food employees, which is $20 an hour. I'm not completely sure if it's in every state, but it's definitely here. And, well, prisoners often don't get a whole lot of say what type of jobs they get, or if they want to work jobs, because it looks bad if you're not active and a model prisoner, doing your job, not getting to fights, even if, you know, you're getting horrifically assaulted on the daily. But is this really the best you got? I mean, school systems around us are struggling, and we think putting people in boxes like this is a solution for whatever crimes there might be. We seem to think the solution is putting people behind bars, putting them in situations where they might end up worse than how they came in, instead of focusing on something that might actually be more helpful to, you know, your general person, like actually having a good school system, or generally just having a place to live that doesn't require you to go to your extreme lengths to get the money for it. There ain't much to say on this, it sucks. So anyways, I wrote a 10-page paper on this, and I've forgotten every single word I wrote about. Woo! Okay. Paying more attention to people who may be struggling financially, and seeing what we need to do to fix that, like fixing our insane gas prices, or not making it so we have to sell an arm and a leg, maybe a child, maybe some crack, to, you know, afford to live in a decent area that isn't, quite frankly, having gunshots go off every hour. I mean, sounds like my first job, but in reality, we need to just start talking to people and thinking about how prison isn't what we need to be focusing on anymore. It's just some outdated practice. I mean, sure, there's definitely people who belong behind bars, but hell, half of them are in our country. But recent news, cough, right? No, I shouldn't cough on this. We need to start actually paying attention to the stuff that happens in the community around us, and how things like sentencing and actually going to jury duty, if you think that people are people and not just whatever stupid things they may do or may not even do, showing up to jury duty, paying attention to whatever the hell goes on ballots, and most of all, staying informed is the best we can do at the moment. Let's fight against mass incarceration. Just putting so many people behind bar isn't just a fight for criminals, as some people may say or think, but it's a fight for people in general, ensuring everyone has the opportunity to live, have an opportunity to actually do something about their lives, instead of just being stuck in the same cycle. Think hard and try doing our best to help others when we can. Bye-bye, guys. The YouTube video essay done. I gotta edit this stuff. Woohoo! Yippee, guys. See you on the YouTube Kids section.